What the fuck? Nope. Where's it come from, though? That's the only thing about Peter Thomas Roth stuff. Hi, everybody. It's PJ. Yeah, I've been gone for a minute. The reason why is like triple fold. This is his new eye serum. We're gonna try it. Anyway, where was I? Where have I been? Nowhere really. I went and had the biopsies done. And that was like kind of, it was, listen, getting a root canal is worse, okay? But they do this thing where you, they say, okay, we're going to numb you like this. We're going to spray the spot. They have an ultrasound on you. They spray the spot. They go in and numb your skin. And then they go in with a great big needle and numb everything around wherever they're going. Anyway, the results came back. I don't have cancer that they can see now. They did say they want to redo all this in 6 months, which I thought I was getting my thyroid out anyway because it bothers me so much how it lays on my throat and stuff. But they're like, well, we'll see in 6 months. We're going to go back and look, see if anything like grows. Then I guess they'll redo those tests and see what they get. Anyway, so I have to make an appointment with the last doctor to go back, but no cancer, so that's a good thing. I never thought I honestly like felt like it would come back okay. I had the biopsies done, and it really kind of, it didn't hurt so much then. Like I said, I'd rather have a root canal, or I'd rather have this than a root canal, because I hate when they mess with my teeth. But it was afterwards, it was so sore, like right in here, down into my shoulder, into my chest. It was like so sore, I guess, from just, you know, them digging, and they dig out like the thing, and then they puncture it 4 times on 3 tumors 4 times. So anyway, yeah, I was like, it was painful. So that was one of the reasons why I kind of stayed away from the camera. But also because in our office, and I'm sure you have seen Barnell in some of my videos. He was like an older guy, and he worked for me for years. And about maybe 4 or 6 months ago, he had a really bad car accident. He was like missing for 2 days. Nobody could find him. And it's because he had this car wreck and nobody knew who he was. He was eventually found in Pennsylvania. And he had to have like part of his, he had to have his skull removed because his brain was swelling, like that kind of stuff. Plus he had broken bones all over the place. But anyway, he had been on the mend, like through this whole thing. We've just been kind of holding our breath, but he really was on the mend. People went to see him, and he was like talking. He couldn't talk. He had a trach. But he couldn't like openly like just like talk like all the time. But he could say like one word and stuff. And so he would like say things so we knew that he knew who we were and stuff like that. So everybody was pretty like excited about how much he had progressed. Well, so they moved him to, They moved him to a different nursing home, closer to home, that did not have a constant nurse care with him. And he kind of needed that because he didn't know like what was up. He didn't completely know what was going on around him. Well, somebody took off his, he had like a brace for his neck. Somebody took off his brace and left him like that, and either in his sleep or whatever, he pulled out his trach. So they didn't notice him either because it was the kind of nursing home where they check on you, but they're not in there all the time. And I feel like he shouldn't have been there, but that's what he wanted. He was driving everybody crazy trying to get home. Anyway, yeah, he went out. He ended up having like lack of oxygen thing, and he passed away. So I was dealing with that. Everybody at work was so sad. We really thought that he was going to be mendable, like on some level. Did I ever think he was going to come in and work for me again? No, but we really didn't care. We just wanted him to, you know, live and enjoy his life and his wife and his kids, and that didn't happen. So it was a rough week, you know. We had losing Barnell. I'll put some pictures here. Now you know who I was talking about. So we had losing Barnell. I did not feel great. And I just felt like, you know, sometimes you need to just be in the moment. You like when you film like 3-4 times a week, you're not necessarily living life, you're filming life. And sometimes things happen that makes you need to be in the moment, and that was one of them. I had to be there for the girls. I had to be there for myself, because you want to hear a funny story? The day that he had the accident, I fired him, because I used to fire Barnell like every once in a while, because he was on Saturdays. You're not allowed to be late. Like, you can be late any other day of the week, as long as it's not terrible. But you can be late any other. But on Saturday morning, we need everybody there by 9, and everybody knows it. And he was notoriously partying on Friday night. And he would walk in, you know, 20 minutes after everybody else. And like, it got to the point where like I would fire him and he wouldn't listen to me. So that was what happened. He was Kimmy called me and she's like, Barnell just walked in. And I was like, all right, because I work from home. Kimmy's in the office. So I was like, all right, put him on the phone. And he was like, yeah. I was like, that's it. And I had done this before now. This wouldn't have been the first time. But I'm like, that's it. No more. I'm so tired of this shit. Everybody else can get there on time but you. Blah, 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 blah. Go home. Go home and talk to me in a week. Because that's what I used to do. I'd fire him for a week and make him like feel it financially that he fucked up. But then I'd always let him back. So, I called back like an hour later and I was like, how did he handle it? And she's like, who? And I'm like, Barnell. And this is the third time he had done this too. And I said, Barnell, I fired him. She's like, he's working. I was like, what? I am useless. Like, he's not even listening to me. So I just let him work. Yeah, it was that night that he had the car wreck. But, sad stuff. We've lost quite a few. I lost, Crystal. She had Crohn's really bad. She had an autoimmune disease that was just, it was like eating her stomach away. It was awful. She was so beautiful too. She was like a beautiful girl. Like, she just had a smile that would light up the room. So I lost Crystal. I lost Clarissa. I have her video on here for saying goodbye to Clarissa. She had lung cancer, but that's not what killed her. Her 8 cats killed her. Don't you ever think differently. She had 8 cats, and she was told, get rid of the cats, and refused, because she said they were all like kind of wild, but they lived in her house, and she thought somebody's going to come along and like kill them or something. So she would not let anybody have her cats. And she had an asthma attack after she had lung cancer and lived and like was cancer free completely. She had some weird kind of lung cancer that's only for Asian people, or like predominantly Asian people, and it's encapsulated. So it didn't like spread to, like, all you have to do is take it out and you're good. I have a friend of mine who had kidney cancer like that. But anyway, so she had an asthma attack and died while the ambulance tried to find her house. I had Tiso. Tisa was murdered. That's probably the hardest one. He was murdered in front of his kids. He, somebody mistaked him for his brother. And he lived in a shitty set. He used to live in Philly, but he had cleaned up his life. He had 3 kids. He had a wonderful wife, and they shot him at his front door. And we never found out who. So let's see. That was Tiso, Barnell now, Crystal, Clarissa. Jeff Mills died of a heart attack. And you've seen videos of Jeff Mills. Not my Jeff. Jeff Mills, a really good friend of mine. And he died of a heart attack. Young, too. He was like in his early 40s. And then Chris also died in a car wreck. So 7 people so far out of work that we've buried. I think that's a lot, isn't that? Oh, no, and JD died of liver failure or liver disease or something like that. So that's actually 8. Too many in one little office, but that's what it's been so far. So, yeah, Barnell's, he was like the laughter in the room, you know? He was always pranking people, and we're going to miss Barnell. So that's what I dealt with this week. I lost another co-worker. Well, he was actually one of my people. But I lost another person, and the girls lost, and they were sad, and now we're, you know, coming out of that, and, you know, I'm back. I'm just coming back slowly, and nope, no cancer, but also no relief for what I'm going through in my throat. We'll see what they do for me, but anyway, that's why. Oh my God. Okay, last thing. I'm going to link a video below of proof of afterlife that I thought was so cool. Like, I watch a lot of the Huff Paranormal stuff. If you ever watch that stuff, it's like how spirits can like get in your phone or get in your TV or like use electronics to communicate with you, right? So this girl who doesn't have anything to do with like Huff Paranormal, this girl baby son had passed away from cancer, and but when they would be waiting for the doctors and all that, she would use her phone to like entertain him with Snapchat filters, especially the dog one, where that one, and she would put it on and they would both have the dog thing. Well, a year later, she goes to the grave for some memorial service, and she sits down and she wants to do a Snapchat, so she turns on Snapchat and does it, and he's right here. And what's so crazy about the video is like, he's here and it's his size head. It's not like, do you know what I mean? The ears are sitting on a head like this big. You can't see the head. It's crazy. I'm going to link the video. I loved the story. I believe that story. It just shows you that there's no end. It's just a turning of the page. And Barnell has turned the page. And we will love and miss you, Barnell. You are funny and wonderful.